An album a day is my exploration into the Korean music scene. This podcast will cover mainstream, indie, and some underground artists within the scene and provide both factual and opinionated commentary. The biggest benefit to sharing my thoughts this way is that it will hopefully expose you to more great music and exploration of your own. And here we are in the lovely year of 2011. Now, after their second EP, it was good, but I had higher expectations. Not too long after that, in December 2010, they released their first Japanese album, which was called Diamond, and then followed that up April 5th, 2011, with their debut Korean studio album. Let's talk about that more after the drop.
You're tuned into an album a day. Show, start.
They did their work. I can definitely tell you that. For this debut Korean studio album, and technically, well, not even technically, genuinely, it was the second overall in their discography. They did their work. Now, right before this even dropped, they did an album in Japan. It was their first Japanese album called Diamond. And what they did was they took the works from that album as well as did a Korean rendition of one of the songs and a whole new version of another song. And they also took work from a maxi single called Heart to Heart, and they just clumped it all together for this electro pop, dance pop album called 4 Minutes Left. And I feel like this was the album that they really started to center Hyuna. I'm not saying she wasn't that to begin with. She was always the face of the group, but I really feel like it was overt at this point in time, particularly because of some choreography that they ended up getting banned. One of their songs, Mirror Mirror, which has a video, and it was like number 2 on the GAN digital charts and whatnot. They had a particular move in their choreography that the broadcasting network was like, look, y'all doing the most. I'm gonna need y'all to go ahead and tone down the provocativeness. Like you're being extra. But they weren't the only ones who got that slap on the wrist. Another girl group called Rania had it happen to them as well. So just KBS and I believe, don't believe, use a source. KBS and SBS was like, nah, change it up. Or don't come on our shows. How about that? How about don't do Music Bank? Don't do Inkigayo if you can't stop busting your legs open. Like, that's not what we want. So 4 Minutes Left peaked at number 2 on the Korean charts. It even charted in Japan at 145. Now, their Japanese debut did 27, and we spoke about the previous album that ended up charting on the Japanese chart. So, hey, like, achievements is achievements is achievements. They also released this in the Philippines, and a portion of the album was released in Brazil. So they were really, really aggressive about getting that international appeal. The album had a total of 10 tracks on it, comes in at about 34-ish minutes, like 34 minutes. It had 2 official singles, Heart to Heart and Mirror Mirror. So your tracks were 4 Minutes Left, which was the intro, and S. Tiger was on that. He was also on Mirror Mirror and Heart to Heart. It's not the only one who was a part of those productions, though. There's other lyricists, other musicians, producers who involved themselves in this project. So we have 4 Minutes Left, Mirror Mirror, Heart to Heart, Sweet Sugar Honey, which I like the way that song sounds. It's really, really nice. Pretend, You Know, Already Gone, another personal favorite of mine. First, the Korean version of it. Hide and Seek, and then Badly. The songs flow together very cohesively, far better than the previous album. I think that they took a lot of time to actually take some consideration into what direction the songs were going to really go in. And when they had Heart to Heart, it had some extra pull in it because they had a member from actual band C in Blue. We'll get to them soon enough. Member Lee Jung-shin. He was featured in the video as Hyuna's love interest. But just having those moments where you collaborate in a video with one person from another group and another from another group, it brings the fandoms together. It brings the appeal together. And Hyuna was a baby at this time. She was still relatively young. So she's always had a very small, cute voice. And it was extra small then. So there was a moment for them to be playful in the beginning of the video. And you're just basically seeing this guy who's a cheater or just sleazy. I won't necessarily say he's cheating. He was entertaining another woman while they were out in a party. And you just need to see the video. You need to watch the video for Heart to Heart. If you've never come past it, by all means, do what you can to find it on your preferred video platform, aka YouTube. So I like the album for the fact that it's cohesive. I like that it sounds like it's all in the same space and time. It's not all over the place. It doesn't sound like it was a ball tossed out into the wind and whatever it bounced off of is what they were going to try, or a dart thrown at a wall and whatever it sticks to is what they were going to try. It's extremely cohesive. It's not all my favorite. I'm not very impressed with their vocals still. The production helps to send the songs and keep you from actually paying that a lot of attention. And hey, good for them. They found a formula that works. Evidently it worked because the album did well. It doesn't have to appeal to my personal interests. It sounds far better than the previous album. I can't get over that part. I'm grateful that it does. And you will find yourself bopping your head to various songs on the album. So it wins in that regard. Despite my personal feelings, K-pop fans, on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being essential listening and 1 not worth mentioning, the A3Day rating, I just hurt myself. Time out. Did y'all hear that loud crack? Let's try that again. And 5, 6, 7, 8. K-pop fans, on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being essential listening and 1 not worth mentioning, the A3Day rating on this album is a 5. It's a very solid studio album. Can't deny it. I don't necessarily like everything on it, but I know a hit album, I know a hit record when I hear it, and these had it. So I definitely grabbed a couple of the songs that I felt were most appealing to put on the A3Day playlist on Spotify. Please check that out. Please check that out. It's treated far better than the playlist as associated with the final thoughts for any of the artists. That one's just not curated well. And at this point, with the hard work of my Patreon patrons, like, oh my gosh, they are absolutely phenomenal. It might come to a point where I'm going to have to just allow them to curate it for all of you externals out there who don't rock with the show or you want to hear a little bit more. So, but you could be internal. You could kick it with the hashtag A3Day playlist on Spotify. It would be really, really good if you could just hear some of those songs on there and just go through the 3+ hours of content from us starting this over a year ago. With that being said, it is coming up on the 1-year anniversary. Today is May 1st, and for me, it's my birthday. So this is the first birthday that I'm celebrating on the show. I appreciate all of you who listen. I found out about, I want to say 11:58 p.m. on April 30th, 2020, that we have accumulated over 5,000 listeners across all platforms that an album a day is available on. So thank you so much for your gift of your excitement, your attention, the gift of spreading my content with others and encouraging others to check out the podcast. I'm eternally grateful for that, for this show to be so young, just a year old almost, and to have that much listenership. That's huge. And it's all because of you. So again, I thank you so much. You could not have given me a better birthday gift whatsoever. Thank you all very much. And I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye, y'all.
Your favorite foreign Korean music historian exploring all the industry from A to Z.
There are sponsored ads and social media hashtags, but this show is truly supported by the efforts of my McWallas, the most amazing fan base a little entertainer could ever have. Special shout out to my Patreon patrons, the student body, and the scholars who keep my vision of becoming your favorite Korean music historian exploring all the industry from A to Z a real thing. If you're interested in supporting the growth of this podcast and supporting content, please visit patreon.com/multifacetedacg. And for as little as $1 a month, you can get in on the magic too. Interested in continuing your support at the free $99 price? I love you for it. You can still engage with the show when you retweet, repost, and share the show and use hashtag A3 and the word DAY. You can also tag MULTIFACETEDACG to get my attention. And if you're listening to this podcast on a platform other than Anchor.fm, please leave a few stars or a review to keep things growing in the right direction.